All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the League of Railway Women's annual membership meeting. It's an honor to gather with so many remarkable women and allies who are shaping the future of the railroad industry. Together, we come today from across regions and countries, specialties, career stages, united by our commitment to driving fellowship across this essential industry. LRW continues to grow, evolve, make an impact, and today's meeting is an opportunity to share what's been happening behind the scenes. I'm excited to introduce our speakers and MC this meeting, where we're going to walk through our annual updates as a membership organization. We thank you all for being members, and we hope you're as excited as we are about what LRW's accomplished and what we have planned next. I'm Katie Catchell. I'm Vice President of the LRW in my volunteer life. And in my professional life, I'm a federal lobbyist in Washington, D.C. offices of Blank Rome, Government Relations. I'm pleased to be joined in person with several LRW members from the DC area here in my office, and I'm pleased to be joined by all of you virtually. I'll be conducting a couple of polls, 5 to be exact, throughout the meeting, so our friends joining virtually, please participate in that poll when prompted. Next slide. The League of Railway Women was founded in 1997 and is committed to improving the railroad industry by connecting and cultivating women and individuals in rail. Why is that important to mention women in rail? Well, as statistics show, employees in the rail industry are starting to age and retire, and we face a workforce shortage in this key industry that drives economic growth. At the same time, statistics show that women are underrepresented in the rail industry. We want to encourage awareness of all these resources, all these people, to keep this industry going. Next slide. For this meeting, we're going to abide by this code of conduct. We expect all meeting participants to be considerate and respectful of all other participants of LRW meetings and to behave in a way that creates a safe and welcoming environment. You can read the unacceptable behavior there. Next slide. Here is our agenda for today. Call to order. We're going to introduce you to our board of directors, committee chairs, go over some highlights and objectives, our finances, and end with awards and open discussion, and then adjourn. So I hereby call this meeting to order. But before we dive in, I would like to take a quick poll. How long have you been an LRW? Please select 1. And what motivated you to join LRW? We'll just pause for like a second. Not sure if we're able to see what is happening, but we will be recording it somehow. All right. Can we flip to the next slide? Oh, here we go. Great. So we have a good range of folks joining us today, and that's really good feedback. Thank you so much. Now, turning to our executive officers for 2026, we have the next slide, please. We have Sarah Urasco, past president, Lisa Takash, president, myself, vice president, Nicole McKinstry, treasurer, Crystal Gitchell, parliamentarian, and Chandrika Stewart, our secretary. And flipping over to our directors at large, we have Kristen Canfield, Sarah Dimmick, Avalisha Fisher, Andrea Neathold, Linda Hernandez, Mallory Moran, Christine Cahill, Christy Terry, Mariah Morales, and Caden Howard. This diverse board of directors are women leaders from a variety of companies and job positions throughout the rail industry. Their leadership experience and resources provide a well-rounded governing body that continues to move LRW and women forward. Our directors at large have stepped up in a big way, and you'll hear about that, taking on specific projects and programs. Next, I'd like to introduce the committee members and committee chairs and roles. We have Denise Williams, Awards Chair, Ariana Smith, Communications Chair, Tiffany Wenrich, Education, Christine Cahill, Deputy Education, Andrea Neathold, Events Co-Chair, Daniela Fietta, Events Co-Chair. We have an open chair for marketing, so we'll tell you how to contact us if you're interested. Morgan Hendon, Membership Chair, Yasmin R., Deputy, Denise Moore, Professional Development Chair, Kristen Gatrix, Co-Professional Development Chair, and Mickey Russ, our Scholarship Chair. I want to thank all the executive officers, directors at large, and committee chairs for their dedication to these volunteer positions. We would not exist as a professional society without you all volunteers. Now I will turn the presentation over to Lisa Takash, our president, for a look back at LRW's 2025 highlights. Lisa?
Thanks, Katie. Hi, everyone. Lisa Takash here. I'm with the Railroad Construction Company during my daytime job. And we're located in Paterson, New Jersey, but we're growing. We are now in New England. We have an office in Boston. So if anyone's looking for a new job, let me know. We're hiring as well. We've got a lot of great projects. So this has quickly become one of my favorite events of the year. And I have to say, I think one, because it's been a fulfilling year and we usually have a lot to highlight, but two, it really offers an opportunity for our directors at large and our committee chairs and our executive board to highlight what we've been doing this year. So you have a little glimpse into all of our volunteer work, because it does take a labor of love, but we are all committed and we've got a great group here. So I'll dive into my script and share that our symposium, Navigating the Rail Industry, Telling Your Story, brought professionals together to strengthen communication, competence, and leadership skills. Attendees also had the chance to attend BNSF Cicero Yard and Metra's 47th, 49th Street railcar and locomotive repair facilities. We proudly awarded 3 scholarships, continuing our tradition of supporting the next generation of women in rail. These scholarships reflect our mission of empowering and advancing women at every stage of their careers. We welcome new corporate partners, expanding the network, of organizations that champion LRW's mission. Their support strengthens our programs, visibility, and industry reach. Our membership continues to grow year over year, showing the value that LRW brings to this industry. We also strengthen partnerships across the US, Canada, and Mexico, further expanding LRW's influence and reinforcing our role as a leading voice for women in rail. This year, we were proud to provide for, I hate reading off of a script. You'll have to forgive me. I wish I could go a little bit more fluid, but I'll forget something. This year, we were proud to provide financial support and sponsorships to industry organizations, including celebrating the National Association of Railway Businesswomen. Chicago chapter celebrated their 100th anniversary, which is such an accomplishment. And one of their members, Jasmine Manley, is on one of our committees, and we were thrilled to sponsor that event because we're so proud of the work that they've done for now 100 years. And sponsoring the Women in Rail Breakfast at the International Heavy Haul Association Conference and the World Congress on Railway Research, hosted by MXC Rail, which of course is near and dear to our hearts, given that Carrie Gonzalez is the CEO of MXC Rail, and it was great to give her some support back with all that she's given to LRW. So these efforts reinforce our commitment to uplifting organizations that share our mission. I'm thrilled to share that board member eligibility to rotate off chose to stay, giving us full board continuity into 2026. That speaks volumes about the commitment, stability, and shared belief in LRW's direction. I want to personally thank each of you, each board member, executive board member, committee chair, and our director at large, Catherine Keeler, for your dedication to LRW and for the support you've shown me as president. I know my strength as a leader comes from the people around me. It really does. I'm fortunate to work with professionals who are intelligent, creative, and who consistently build each other up, challenge each other to grow and support one another in meaningful ways. Together we are stronger, and together we will continue to move LRW forward. Sorry, I got a little choked up there. I'm very passionate about this organization, if you couldn't tell. So this strong foundation allows us to push forward without losing momentum or vision. I'm going to pause now for our next poll before I jump into our 2026 goals and objectives. So if you want to launch that next poll, go for it. I'll pause.
So which LRW resources have been most valuable to you, and what prevents you from participating in LRW events more often?
Is there a time limit on the polls?
There we go. Takes a little bit of time, but I think worth it.
Definitely.
Very interesting. Networking events, webinars, and time constraints. Same here, time constraints.
Time constraints.
Thank you for your feedback. It's really helpful. Lisa, do you want to dive into 2026 objectives?
I do, yes. Thank you so much, Katie. In fact, that's very interesting information. And our objectives for 2026 are, in fact, a reflection of the feedback we received from our membership survey that we did earlier in the year. So here's a quick snapshot of our goals for the year. We'd like to provide professional development, mentorship, and networking opportunities more than we already do that empower women at every stage of their career. Expand regional and virtual engagements to ensure all members feel connected and supported. And again, you're going to hear more about these outlines of our goals when the committee chairs and directors at large give their presentations. So this is really just a high level. Stay tuned because there's a lot of interesting things coming. So strengthen industry presence and partnerships to amplify LRW's voice at major rail events and conferences, and to deepen collaboration with industry partners across the US, Canada, and Mexico to advance opportunities for women in rail, and to develop leadership and organizational excellence, and to build pathways for future LRW leaders through volunteer and board development programs, including our volunteer intake forum and the launch of our upcoming Speakers Bureau. Our accomplishments and goals demonstrate the power of this community, our members, board, and volunteers working together. I can't wait to see the impact we'll make in the coming year. And now I will turn the presentation back over to Katie, who I believe is going to introduce Linda if she's on the call. I can check real quick.
Yes, I am.
Oh, great, Linda is here. We're going to turn it over to Linda so she can introduce everything that's been happening in Mexico because we've had a very exciting year. Linda, take it over.
Absolutely. Let me just open my video. I'm sorry. Sorry for that. Good morning, everyone, from the center of Mexico. So the story of the League of the Railway Women over the last 4 years has been fascinating. At our first event, there were only 6 members. Over the time and through different events and strengthening our network, we have grown over 100 railroader women in this country. So we are very proud to have so many members. And for this reason, we have also strengthened the LRW structure in Mexico. So let me allow to you introduce Diana Rivero and Geraldine Lopez, who have worked together over the past year to create spaces and very good content for our members in different regions on the country. It was very interesting to hear on the poll about the travel. So what we have been trying is to bring the mountains to the membership all through and across our country. So Lisa, I'm just thankful because Geraldine, she's part of the Mexico Rail Association, and Diana participates on Martinus Rail, an Australian company. So that's the way we have been working in Mexico. Very proud to be part of this LRW and continue growing in Mexico. Thanks.
And I'd like to chime in real quick, Linda. When I was fortunate to be invited to go to Mexico City, and I went in conjunction with the AMF Expo, the three of these women working together are a powerhouse. Watching Linda, she commands attention when she walks in the room for no other reason than just showing up. She is incredible. And the support of Geraldine and Diana has been incredible. I was incredibly blessed and lucky to be there and see you in action amongst your people, amongst your environment. It was just so incredible. And I'm really thankful for that opportunity. And I'm thankful to you and what you're doing there in Mexico. So keep up the great work.
Okay, I think before we dive into finances, we're going to do another quick poll. How likely are you to recommend LRW to a colleague or friend? And what topics or skills would you like LRW to focus on in future programming? Okay, we got some good feedback here. Thanks again for that. Can we scroll down and see what the answers were to the second question? Maybe, maybe not.
Katie, I think you can scroll yourself. You can move the poll yourself, I believe.
Okay, did that work on the
Or you can
everyone's
also
screen?
drag it and show the poll all at one time.
I don't think I have controls over the. Okay, well, we have it recorded and we'll look at it later. Okay. Let's see, moving right along, turning now to a report on LRW's finances featuring Nicole McKinstry, LRW's treasurer. Headline is, we're doing well. Take it away, Nicole.
Thanks, Katie. Can I get a thumbs up, but people hear me okay? Okay, thank you. Hi, I'm Nicole McKinstry. I have been treasurer. This is my second year, and we've been really working hard on spending down some of the money that over the years we've accumulated through donations and sponsorships. And we're doing a good job of doing that. We want to make sure that we are representing women in the rail industry, and to do that, we need to spend a little money. So that's the good news. We contemplated for our budget for 2025 a $24,000 loss in order to spend down some of our cash reserves. And we were looking at only reaching a $6,000 loss. And again, that is good news. It's not bad news. We had a lot of revenue from memberships, thanks to our membership team and committee. We had overshot our budget by $5,500, but that was offset by lower registration revenue for some of our events. We also didn't spend, as we expected, some additional funds for our marketing and conference expenses, and we will likely spend some of that money into 2026. But overall, we did accomplish a little bit of what we set out. We did spend down some of our cash. Our goal for 2026 will be to spend down even more cash. As a nonprofit organization, we don't want to be sitting on a lot of money. We want to be able to spend and utilize the funds that people are giving to our organization. I'll speak later on behalf of Mickey Rust, our scholarship chair, around how we are doing that with our scholarship fund. But in the end, we ended up being able to put aside around $100,000 into two CDs, which will expire. One will expire here in January, and another one 6 months later, around July. And when those expire, we will contemplate whether we keep that money locked up in a CD or if we anticipate spending a little bit more. We'll have the 2026 budget ready, hopefully at the end of December, and hopefully approved by the time January rolls around as we begin our next year. And so the next slide, if we want to move it forward, talks about where we get our money and how we spend it in our big buckets, we'll call it. We do get most of our money from our corporate sponsorships, around 60% of that. And in addition, we get a lot of money from organizations that many of you represent in our event sponsorship. And again, event registration is not a big driver of income for us, or revenue, but it is something that we use to make sure that we are in a break-even situation when we can on certain events. And then we have some individual, around 6% of our revenue is related to individual membership dues, and then very minimal around other, which is around interest earnings from our CDs and things like that. As far as expenses go, a big chunk of what we spend our money on is related to our operations and administration. So we enlist the help of Forius managers to help us facilitate a lot of what we do, a lot of the back office accounting work and setting up meetings like this. So Catherine Keeler and her team put in a lot of work to make sure behind the scenes we're operating. That's because all the board members actually are volunteers. And so we have day jobs, and Catherine and her team make sure that all the stuff behind the scenes is still operating, and we're able to provide events and scholarships and things like that to our membership. And we did get quite a bit of income this year from our, sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing that color. Hang on just a second here. Oops. Yeah. Just one second here. I need to pull up my other slides because I can't move the cursor. Around our events, and our big event this year was our symposium, and so we hope to make that part of our ongoing efforts as an organization. As you can see, 30% of what we spend is related to our annual symposium. And then we also spent some money around our scholarships, like I said, and I'll give you some more details around that, and as well as our marketing expenses were bigger this year than normal. So that's kind of how we split up our revenue and expenses into big buckets. And does anyone have any questions for me around our financials for 2025? All right.
If you have any questions, make sure to go navigate to the bottom of your screen and choose the Q&A box, and then we'll be able to reply back with that.
Yep. Thank you, Catherine. All right.
Nicole, I was going to share that on the previous slides, you had noted that we made 2 investments, and I wanted to share with the membership that those are decisions we make together as an executive board. Those weren't decisions you made on your own or I made. We come together just to be completely transparent with everyone. Any money we spend, we talk together. Yeah. It's a decision that's made. If there's something I'd like to support, I send a note to the board explaining why, and they vote yay or nay, and that's how we move forward with using our money, spending our money. So it's not being carelessly spent or invested without full discussion first and support from the board.
Yeah, and thank you, Lisa. And that runs along too with our budget, right? We do create a budget. It's reviewed and approved by the board and executive committee, and we try to spend within that budget. And if things need to go outside or above the budget, we do talk about those things. So I'm just generally the collector and the overseer of the information, but we do make a lot of those financial decisions as a team. So thank you.
Please don't sell yourself short.
Oh,
you are a lot more than that. You keep me in the know and educated. Do not sell yourself short.
Oh, thank
I don't
you.
know what I would do without you.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. But yeah, if anyone's got questions, drop it in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer those now or later. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, moving right along in our agenda. Thank you, Nicole. Great work. We will now hear an exciting update on membership and corporate partnership from Yasmin Ara. Sneak peek, we're growing in both. So take it away, Yasmin.
Well, that was all I was going to share with you guys, so just kidding. I'm Yasmin Ara, Deputy Chair for the Membership Committee. Morgan couldn't be with us here today. And in my outside life, I do rail consulting for DB Echo North America. The big 3 numbers up front are that we are growing. I won't read these numbers to you because they're quite large, but if we could go to the next slide and talk a lot about the corporate partnerships, that there's a thank you to these organizations that I'd like to share. We have a really strong showing of individual membership, but especially if some of these organizations are ones that you work with, it's demonstrated that even in economic times, that in a dynamic economic climate, that the rail industry still shows strong in supporting this organization and what we do. And so this is a real testament to the collective team at the League of Railway Women. I say that the membership committee is every person that is on the League of Railway Women. All of us represent the organization, and all of us are actively recruiting as we connect with other women in the industry. But we do want to say a special thanks to our corporate partners because, as you guys just saw, they are a large contributor to what helps us keep running. Could you go to the next slide, please? So I want to talk a little bit about the corporate partnership program, just so everybody on the call is familiar. We have multiple tier levels. I will go into it a bit more, but depending on how we can work on like what your corporate partnership would mean for if your organization doesn't do it and you want to speak to them, it's that when we work with corporate partnerships, they help us build networks, help with our recruitment, They help with the networking. And so we utilize our corporate partners both in their presence in some of our events and what we do. And also, it's a great way to help encourage people either through their organization to engage with the LRW level. So, what we don't have in the slides here is like the tiers and the details of each of these levels, but you can reach out to the membership committee or to the leadership staff and we can talk about that with you. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that people knew that there are multiple tier levels. So if your organization is interested and they are dealing with economic climate, we have a lot of options for people to connect with the organization. Could you go to the next slide, please? So this is my other piece. I want to say welcome to our new 2025 corporate members. So we have the five that are listed here: Dozer Construcción y Ascensoría, TriMet, Forta, On Track Railway Operations Limited, and Mineta Transportation Institute. So a big thank you to these new organizations. And as we talk a lot more about our strategy and expansion, there's even more opportunities there. Uh, Quick pause if anyone has any questions about the membership and the corporate membership stuff. Okay, well, next slide, please, so I can talk a little bit about the strategies. So I emphasize heavily because we heard Linda speak. I also work with Daniela on the events team that'll come up. One of the big strategies we've really been experiencing as an organization is expanding into all of North America. It's already been done so successfully by a lot of our team members that you've heard today, but it is something that we'd like to continue to focus on. Um, One of the other strategies we do, and for those of y'all that are familiar with just building membership and maintaining, what we want to do is work on retention of our previous members, contacting the expired ones, and maintaining those relationships. And what we also want to do, as you guys did with the polls today, is that we're looking at the event list for possible recruitment, hearing back from a lot of what you guys have said to make sure it's an enriching membership experience. And we're also aggressively marketing and through our events that programs that we have. So we've noticed that people will attend events, but they're not necessarily members. So it's a great way for them to get an understanding of what our organization does, but learn more about it. Also, just in the space, we recognize an opportunity to do heavy marketing with the short line space, work with colleges, recruitment events, work with shippers and ports, really looking at the rail industry space as a whole. So we're going both geographic and across the market itself. And then finally, continuous improvement is something that I live and die by. So as you guys are in the organization and you see opportunities, Morgan and I are very humble to any opportunity to make sure that the membership is both an enriching experience and any opportunities to expand and grow the membership to markets that are outside of our purview. So, Daniela works with me a lot on as we're working on expanding in the Canadian space. But if you see an opportunity, again, all the members of LRW are technically part of the membership committee. Um, and I think with that, that's the closing of the membership stuff. So if you have any other questions or any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you so much, Yasmin. All right, now turning to Daniela Fieta, our chair of the events committee, a committee which has been quite active in planning and delivering wonderful events and that keep us connected and inspired. Daniela?
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction, Katie, and thank you for the excellent segue, Yasmin. So we are all very interconnected in our committees and working with our board, as has already borne witness, because many of the comments have been made, I'm going to make myself. But just to start off, we just want to look back on 2025. We had fewer events this year, and it became quite an organic shift of how LRW was showing up in the sector, in the industry, and where we needed to go. And so you'll see Linda's been building momentum down in Mexico with Deanna and Geraldine, and in the US and in Canada, we threw our energies in our symposium this year in June, which was amazing. And then we started to shift away and started reflecting on where we could bring value. But before I go there, we have some pictures just to see, and so you can feel and see the dynamic experiences that happen. So this was our symposium. Tamara Edwards there crouching down in the middle had a fantastic photographer to support us. So we got a big group photo. If you want to move to the next slide. And so these are some shots from throughout the day. There was workshopping, there was networking. This was after our morning offsite experiences. Next. Here's some more. We had an amazing keynote speaker, Janice P. Thomas. She certainly struck a fire in the room. And you'll see there in bottom left as well, we have a couple of panels throughout the day. Katie Catchell hosted an amazing one on government affairs. So what we like to do is have a spotlight on different functions within companies, critical functions, and this was amazing. So we had representation from the US, from Canada, and from Mexico, discussing the similarities and differences in each country and the common challenges that we're facing politically. Next. These are some of Linda's. Next. Some technical tours as well. This is the one, Linda, if I recall, the host offered the helmets. Was that this one?
Ballon
Branded.
in Monterey.
Yeah,
Right.
they offered branded helmets, which was so cool. Next. Okay, so if we just want to go back to that first slide, event slide, please. Thank you. And so in the middle of this year, we asked ourselves what 2026 could look like. So we rolled up our sleeves based on the feedback, and we'll have fresh feedback from the polls that are happening here today. What do our members want? We are geographically split. The constraints that you've listed are very true. We heard about them at the symposium. We heard about them in person at other events, time, travel, etc. And so we have an exciting new slate of events with a variety of experiences and a whole new initiative, which I'll speak to next. So our committee meetings always leave me excited by the possibilities and grateful to collaborate with tenacious, dedicated railway women. I've been in this role, I'm going into my third year, and it's only been positive. And really, I am constantly learning. I come from an IT space at CN, very far from the core business. I'm always learning, but here the collaboration, the support, the belief to run a symposium without having the network and leveraging each other's skills and networks and so on allows us to build really, really exciting days. But after this meeting, I invite you and encourage you to check out our website. Everything's listed there that we've already locked in. We have some things that are TBD. Everybody on the committee is coming up with ideas, and we've got some exciting small technical tours with Anacostia in the first half of the year. We are locking in our symposium details, likely for June again. We've got an Amtrak train ride. We've got another BNSF technical tour. CN is going to host us at a very large group at their training facility in September of next year in Homewood. It's so good. Like, I was like, do we need to break this into two? And they're going to give us a full 4-hour tour, and they just wanted to show so much. So you don't want to miss that. And they can take a group of any size. So really, it's nobody's going to miss out is what I want to say. And then in our brainstorming with the board as well, it was, well, how do we ensure an opportunity for everybody to connect across all three geographic spaces? And so we're excited to launch our first virtual member meetup series. So from January to May, those are also on our website. You do have to register just because we want to know who's coming, the size of the group, so we can make sure that it's a really memorable experience, a worthwhile experience. And so there's been a subcommittee on that, brainstorming the ideas, brainstorming the format. That's been a lot of fun. We hope that these are going to be fun, but it's going to hit professional development and networking, and some, industry insights. So do register for those as well. We'll take your feedback after around June, and then we're going to build another few sessions for the second half of the year. We'll pause during the summer. And then we're still filling out the calendar. As Yasmin said, her and we're collaborating closely. I'm located in Canada, and we have members up here, but we just need to reinvigorate our what we're doing up here in Canada. Christine is up here as well in Quebec with me. So we will reach out virtually, and then we'll start building some in-person experiences and partnering with our corporate partners up here in Canada as well. So there's a lot going on, and we are very, very excited. You don't want to miss out. Check out our website, sign up where you can, block your calendars until we have more details for you to register, but you don't want to miss out. Okay, next, I will speak about the Speaker Bureau initiative. So Kaden Howard, one of our directors at large, led this and did amazing work that blew me away. And I got to use the word memorandum repeatedly, which was fun. But this is another initiative that came out of one of our really, really passionate committee meetings, and just, again, recognizing a gap. And it's going to be an opportunity where we can showcase our members and invite them to speak at our events. And it's for all our members, whether you're an experienced speaker or not. We want you to sign up. There is an intake form, just get to know you kind of thing, and ensure that we are offering and pitching events that fit what you can commit to, whether it's about time, travel, expertise, so on and so forth. And we encourage anybody who doesn't have public speaking experience to also sign up. If you're interested, we assure you that we will pair you with someone who can coach and mentor you and support you. Any of our events that we do, there are a couple of prep sessions. We shape the discussion together. We brainstorm how we want the flow to go. And so it's a very collaborative experience as well. So I've worked with experienced guest speakers from from outside of LRW to our LRW members speaking for the first time on leadership in a panel at an industry event. And it's a lot of fun, and I encourage everybody to sign up. So we're building a repository of speakers that we can pull on, and we have a variety of events in the sense that you could be a panelist, you could be a workshop leader, you could be a keynote speaker, you can speak on webinars, you can speak at some of our virtual member meetups. So travel is not required. Do check that out on the website as well. Kaden put together a great series of FAQs to address all your questions, but if you do have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And we look forward to connecting with you in 2026. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Daniela. Great work. And thank you to Kaden Howard for setting up that Speakers Bureau initiative. It's really exciting. Turning now to an update on our scholarship program, which will be delivered by Nicole McKinstry in place of Mickey Russ, who had a work conflict. Did I mention that we're all volunteers with careers in the rail industry? Yes, it's a labor of love. Take it away, Nicole.
Thanks again, Katie. Yeah, so one of the things that we do as an organization is provide scholarships to rising stars or people who are interested in entering the rail industry. And we have the ability through generous donations and scholarship funding to give out $13,000 this year in 2025 to 3 very well-deserving recipients. Our first recipient is Morgan Winder. She won or was selected for the Connie Samara Scholarship, which is in excuse me, which is given to someone who is sorry, this is my notes are out of order. In the memory of a former LRW president, Connie Samara, who was the longest serving president of LRW. and it seeks to encourage women pursuing graduate or undergraduate degrees to further their careers within the rail industry. And we had several applicants for this, but Morgan was the chosen recipient for this. And so we congratulate Morgan for her application. The next scholarship, I'll wait till it comes up, is Future of Railroading. And this was, again, for a student who is pursuing a degree with an interest in supporting the rail industry. We had several different applicants for this as well, across several different functional areas for the rail industry. And Nakama Lowry is our winner here. She is pursuing a degree in I'm sorry, I don't have which degree she's pursuing. But she's studying environmental studies at the College of Liberal and Professional Studies at the University of Pennsylvania. And so we were able to award her $3,000 to help her further her education. And the final recipient of scholarships is near and dear to my heart. This is in honor of Sue Black, who worked for Greenbrier for many, many years. And in the very beginning, I heard lots of stories personally from Sue because she worked with me for a long time around being the only woman in the boardroom, and she was a salesperson for the CP. She spent most of her years here at Greenbrier. We were very lucky to have her. And Ashika Kumari is our winner for this scholarship. And she is pursuing her master's degree in business analytics at Temple University. And Greenbrier was supporting this scholarship with a $5,000 donation. And so, again, we are, as an organization, very lucky to have the funds to be able to award these scholarships. And we generally take applications in the summertime around June, and then we look to award in August and September for the next school year. So keep that in mind as you work with your colleagues and your organizations for people who are looking to pursue jobs and professional development within the rail industry. And that's all I have for scholarships.
Thank you, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Moving right along in our agenda, we'll hear from education and professional development. We have chairs of that. Tiffany Wenrich is chair of the education committee, and she's Christine Kalil is also on here from education committee, and Denise Mora from the professional development committee. So I believe Tiffany goes first.
Sure. I'll take it away. Christine, please jump in and feel free to save me anytime anytime you feel the need. So on the education committee, our primary could you go to the next slide, please? I'm sorry. Our primary output is webinars that we host, but we do collaborate with the events and professional development committees on other educational opportunities as well. This year was a little tricky getting our timing squared away for webinars. Both Christine and I have also taken on new roles, again, volunteers, right? A theme that we keep bringing up. So I know our time was stretched thin, but we did end up spanning quite a bit of geography across North America with our webinar still. Learning more about the Alaska Railroad with Director at Large Christy Terry and our professional development co-chair Kristen Greatrix, who you'll hear. Not sure if you'll hear from shortly, but if not, Denise will give her a shout out. And then, in line with what you've heard from the other committees talking about the growth in Mexico, working with the LRW leadership there, Linda, Geraldine, oh my gosh, my brain just went blank. I am so sorry on the third name. Apologies. But appreciate all of you. Deanna, thank you. I could see the letter D, and that was all my brain was formulating. Thank you. Linda, as always, saving us. We've been able to host the last year or two webinars in Spanish, which has been a really exciting way to engage the membership there as well. A reminder, all of our members can always visit railwaywomen.org and go to the webinars page to, if you log in, you can watch any of our past webinars at any time, which is a great benefit of being a member. Our webinars are not only open to members, but you get to attend them for free. If you are a member, there is a small charge if you are not. Moving forward, we're looking forward to finding out who the Woman of the Year will be during the NRC convention coming up here in January, and then we'll be sharing more of their story later in Q1 of 26. And we're also really excited about the Speakers Bureau that was mentioned and how we can tap into that as a resource to offer some additional educational opportunities. Christine, I don't want to, do all the words. Is there anything you'd like to throw in before we hand it over to professional
No, I
development?
think that sounds good. Like you said, we've been exploring a lot of ideas too. So if ever you do have ideas, please reach out to us because since we've done some webinars in Spanish now, we've talked about, do we want to do some bilingual, French and English as well for our Canadian members, and looking at just all sorts of different subjects that we could cover. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you ever have any good ideas for us.
All right, Denise Mora with Professional Development.
Hi, everybody. I am Denise. I am one of the co-chairs for our Professional Development Committee. I am joined by Kristen, who's our other co-chair, and she'll talk a little bit about the Careers Center and kind of what resources are available through there. But one thing I wanted to share here today is our mentorship program. As everyone is well aware, LRW's one of our main goals is to connect real professionals across the industry. And one great way to do that and one benefit of becoming a LRW member is through our mentorship program. As Tiffany and Christine mentioned, we work really closely with the education committee as far as collaborating on topics and ways to promote the resources we have available through LRW, including a mentorship webinar that we hosted earlier this year, showcasing one of our successful partnerships with Nicole McKinstry and Kristen Canfield, who spoke to their experience participating in the mentorship program. So I highly recommend you guys go check out that webinar and hear a little bit more about how they were able to develop a mentoring partnership and how it's really helped their professional development journeys. If anyone has any questions or is interested in joining the mentorship program, please feel free to reach out to me directly. My email can be found on the LRW website or, reach out to the LRW email. We're happy to answer any questions you have and highly encourage anyone to join, whether it's a mentor or a mentee. These partnerships are meant to foster collaboration, relationship building, and just sharing real knowledge across the industry. And then I'm happy to pass it over to Kristen, who will talk a little bit more about the Career Center, and that has more resources available to you as you develop, your professional skills. Go ahead, Kristen.
Good morning, all. My name is Kristen Greatrix. I work for the Alaska Railroad. I do co-chair the Professional Development Committee with Denise. I'm going to share a little bit about our Careers Board. So the Careers Board is for both job seekers and posters. Anybody can use the Career Board, though it is with individual and both corporate membership, there are discounts available for the members for posting. The Job Center has resources like resume services, such as resume evaluations, resume writing, and reference checking. There's even a LinkedIn makeover service. Corporate members receive many memberships, including different discounts for job posting dependent on level of membership. If you are interested in joining the Professional Development Committee, please reach out and let Denise or myself know. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you all. Now it is time for a quick poll. We throw that up. Poll number 4. How valuable has networking within LRW been for your career on a scale of, 0 to 10? 2, are you currently involved with the LRW mentorship program or using the Career Center? Which event format do you prefer? Okay, again, thank you so much for your feedback. All right, turning now to the last update from our awards committee and Denise Williams, our chair. Denise?
Thank you, Katie. Yeah, so we get to talk about the fun stuff that's happening, like celebrating the women of our industry. So LRW typically presents two annual awards, our LRW Railway Woman of the Year, and then our Member of the Year. So next slide, please. Our Railway Woman of the Year is co-sponsored by Progressive Railroading, and it's an annual award that recognizes an outstanding woman whose leadership and innovation leave a lasting impact on our industry. This award, or the recipient of this award, is selected by the Women of the Year Advisory Committee. We selected a new advisory board or committee this year, comprised of Beth Whited, former president of Union Pacific, Gene Savage, CEO and president of Trinity Industries, and Carrie Gonzalez, president and CEO of MBX Rail. All three are both previous recipients of the Woman of the Year award. Nominations for this award typically run early September and close mid-October. Submissions this year nearly doubled. It's actually doubled each year over year, the last 3 years that I've been involved with it. Which I think reflects the growing recognition of women's contributions across the diverse roles in our industry. Next slide, please. So this year, the 2025 Railway Woman of the Year Award will be presented to the recipient on Saturday, January 10th, 2026 at the NRC conference in Hollywood, Florida. So if you're available, we would love to see you there celebrating this year's award recipient. Next slide, please. Next up, we have our 2025 Member of the Year Award. This award is annually awarded, recognizing somebody that's exceptional dedication and contributions of an LRW member. Our nominations for this award typically run August to mid-September and are announced at this event today, our annual membership meeting. So with that, Lisa Takich will announce our 2025 LRW Member of the Year. So Lisa, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Denise. This is one I really have to read off my script. Otherwise, I will probably cry because this one's an emotional one for me. I'm really excited to honor this award to our Member of the Year. This honor celebrates someone who embodies the very best of LRW: leadership, generosity, commitment, and an unwavering belief in the power of women in rail and women in general. Before I reveal the name of this year's recipient, I would like to share a little something. There are rare people in our lives who see something in us before we see it in ourselves, and people whose confidence becomes the spark that ignites our own. Someone who shows up, stands with you, and guides you even when they no longer have to. Someone who leads not for recognition, but because lifting others is simply part of who they are. Our honoree is one of those people for me, and it's uplifting to know that others see it too. She is strong, she is smart, she is ambitious, she is steady, and she is kind. And she has been an extraordinary champion, not only for me, but for LRW as well. As past president, she has helped shape LRW into the organization we are today. Stronger, more visible, more connected, and expanding our mission beyond the borders of the United States and Canada and into Mexico. Her leadership has laid the foundation for the growth we're experiencing now, and the momentum will carry into the future. But what makes her truly exceptional is that her impact didn't stop with her presidency. When her presidency ended, she continues to be deeply involved. She continues to care. She continues to support this organization and the women within it. And when I found myself in moments where I needed guidance, encouragement, or clarity, she was there without hesitation. I genuinely wish everyone could have someone like this in their life. Someone who lifts you up and believes in you and reminds you of your strength when you doubted yourself. Someone whose influence becomes a turning point. And for me, that person is Sarah Orozco, Senior Vice President, Law and General Counsel with the American Shoreline Regional Railroad Association. Sarah, I know you're not on the call, and you were actually supposed to be at the blank room office today. She had an unexpected event come up and she couldn't join us. So she'll have to watch the recording to hear that she is now our member of the year because she wasn't aware of it. So unfortunately, things didn't pan out the way we had hoped. We just learned that she wasn't going to be here today. So I'll close with Sarah. You are a remarkable leader, mentor, and friend. Your dedication to LRW and the rail industry continue to inspire. It's my absolute honor to present this award to you. Congratulations. So thank you for letting me present that award to Sarah. I will now turn it back over to Katie.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Time for a poll. For this last one, we would open it up for Q&A, and I think both the poll also does that as well. What would make your LRW membership more rewarding? Be neat if we could see these populate in real time. Otherwise, we will open up for Q&A and using this chat box. So either the poll question or the chat box.
And Katie, while that poll's going on, I failed to mention in my my speech for Sarah that Sarah Dimich was the one to nominate Sarah for this award. So I wanted to thank her for the nomination because I couldn't agree more, and it was a very well-deserved honor. So thank you for making that nomination, Sarah.
Okay, while we wait for that to populate, I would like to ask Catherine Keeler, our Executive Director, if there are any questions in the chat box throughout the presentation.
Hey, Katie, yeah, I'm happy to share those with you. So I see a couple questions in Q&A. If you'd like to ask a question or share a comment too, make sure to navigate down to your controls, hit the Q&A, and you can submit some questions there. So the first one really is, do you see opportunities to expand beyond North America?
Catherine, I'll take this question. We're definitely considering it. We're doing some research on how we can expand into Mexico and Canada, for that matter, on a more, what's the term I'm looking for? Anyone from the executive board want to jump on and help me out here? Because I'm drawing a blank on the word I'm looking for. Oh, here we go with what would make LRW membership more rewarding. I'll get right back to that after we review this poll. And it's not working. Interesting. Great feedback. So back to our question about expanding beyond North America and Mexico. So while we are growing in those two areas, we would love to go across the pond. I was hoping to maybe even get to Australia during my term as president, but we are navigating slowly, and we want to use some of our reserve funds actually to hire a lawyer to help us navigate these foreign waters a little bit more safely and strategically, and also making sure that we cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's with any legal matters, laws. We're talking about, possibly exchanging foreign currency. We don't want to get ourselves caught up in any sort of situation that might hurt us later on down the line. So while we have the reserve funding to do the research and have someone with this sort of knowledge on their resume, we do have a meeting set up later, I think next week, to pick a lawyer's brain and figure out the best way to move into those organizations or into those countries and then expand beyond that. So it's definitely on the horizon. There's your long answer. I'm sorry it wasn't more simple.
Any more questions, Catherine?
We did have a comment from Miranda Cross. She wanted to say congratulations to Sarah. She couldn't agree more. And then we just had an anonymous question. How do you get emails from LRW? Since joining, I haven't received any. And I'm really sorry to hear about that, and I'll be happy to take that question. Yeah, occasionally we do have some glitches with our communications, but if you want to email me, it's kkeeler@railwaywomen.org. I will put that in the answer here. Or you could always email us at staff@railwaywomen.org, and we can investigate and get you back on there. Sometimes there's just a little glitch. And I don't see any more questions, so if you have a burning question, go ahead and ask it right now. or if anyone else from the leadership team or board of directors has any more comments.
Well, I'm going to move to adjourn. Thank you all so much for your time and engagement today. We really appreciate your interest in our progress and upcoming initiatives. And again, if you have any other questions or suggestions, please email us at this email address, staff@railwaywomen.org. We look forward to continuing this work together. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Great job.
Thank you.